A journey filled with uncertainty. There were times when I doubted whether we would get to the end of the day. And of course we had a plan and all these other things, but if I had to put my finger on a single thing that stood out, that made it possible, it was belief. And that was not just making a decision on a specific day to believe, but it was rather creating a culture of belief. And I think, I really believe that's how we get through these uncertain times, is that somehow we figure out a way to sustain this feeling and these plans that we're going to make it through. Now, I'm from Johannesburg, in case you're wondering. I wasn't part of a family that went to places like this. I had no idea how hostile it would be. And yet, in the process of growing up in Johannesburg, I was exposed to the mountain club, and I got climbing the 7 summits, and that's the highest mountain on all 7 summits. And that was my first exposure to Antarctica, because I led a team in '99. We made the first ascent to Vincent, and I remember returning. It was minus 50 degrees. In my head, I convinced myself that this is a place I'm never going to go back to. It's just not made for Africans, right? And so, as we carried on climbing the 7 summits, and I started getting to the point where I needed to go to Everest, I met an interesting young black man, Sibusiso Vilane. He was born in Nelspruit, and of course, Sibu was the first black man to climb Everest. We met on Everest in 2003, which was my second expedition to the mountain, and I never made it up that year, but Sibu and I put a team together to go back, and it was an interesting story because he was invited by a guy called Sir Randall Fines. It's not a great picture, but he actually always looks like that because he's always doing something desperate. And you might know him. The Guinness Book of Records calls him the greatest living explorer. He's got a number of polar records. He's done all kinds of stuff, but what he hadn't ever done was climb a mountain. And so Sibu and Rand met. Rand wanted to climb Everest. Rand asked Sibu, put a team together. Sibu invited